Thank you for that. I was just going to essentially say the same thing. Hats off to first the board for your foresight and your generosity in making this a centennial celebration that I think the whole community will remember for a long time and be proud of. And again, just my own thanks added to our executive steering committee, Alexis Andrianopoulos, John Ruddy, our deputy police superintendent, Nikki Plum back here in the corner, and Chet Clayton. They are the powers, have been the powers behind every centennial-related activity that have made the scene in our community since last March 11th. This town owes them a debt of gratitude, and I think we ought to show them that. And that's true, yeah. The work for this began probably almost a year before last March. And just one final note, tonight's fireworks that'll be displayed between 9 and 9:30 are being thrown in honor of the people who lost their lives on September 11th, and also in honor of those emergency rescue workers, police and firefighters, and others who have been so courageous and gone beyond the call of duty in the ongoing cleanup and rescue efforts. Thanks again to everybody, and I'll turn it over to Alexis for the time capsule.
Okay. Before we do the time capsule, I need to offer an explanation for those in the audience and those at home. If you've seen any of the Centennial logos anywhere plastered throughout the township, our theme for the year has been looking back, moving forward. Tonight we're moving forward, hence the outfits and the decor in the room this evening, in case you were wondering. So our theme tonight is futuristic. In addition to the executive committee that Mr. Bayshore mentioned, we also had a steering committee of volunteers from throughout the community, from the colleges, the school district, the business association, and countless others, and they were invaluable to us. So I'd like to publicly recognize them. Unfortunately, none of them are here. Otherwise, I would have asked them to stand for applause as well, but I think they're going to meet up with us later. So special thanks to them also. Before we do the time capsule, I have a gift presentation. I'd like to turn the podium over to John Ruddy and Nikki Plum. They have a special gift, or gifts, actually, for the commissioners.
Staying in character, Federation has noticed the celebration for the past year and would like to lavish you with a few gifts that can be hung in your new building that is going to be renovated in the next year or two. And you'll find, coming out behind me, two large maps, one being an 1892 map of the township, and the other being the original land grants that have been beautifully redone, and I think will wear very well on the walls of the new Radnor Township building. And this is in gratitude to the commissioners. You'll see the plaques on the bottom for their support to the Centennial Committee. So again, my script was stolen by the township manager. We thank you very much for your support.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you. Okay, now the moment we've been waiting for. I'd like to invite the department heads and the commissioners to one by one place items. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. There was one other gift to the commissioners, compliments of the Suburban. It's going to be a pictorial history of the township. The Suburban sells these books, but thought that it would be nice to have them donated to each of the commissioners as a memorabilia, and we have engraved each of your names reading, "This book is presented to Commissioner James M. Pierce for your outstanding support of the Radnor Township Centennial Celebration, March 2001 to March 2002, David A. Bayshore, Township Manager, and the Radnor Township Centennial Committee." And we do appreciate all your support throughout the year. It's been a great year. I've enjoyed it, and I think some of you have had a little more fun than you're admitting. So I'll have these books for you.
Thank
All
you.
right?
And thanks to the Suburban for that as well.
And Nikki, I'm sorry.
That's okay. One final one. which we snuck in, and I get to open this one because it goes to a very special person who has headed us over the last year and has certainly given us a lot of hope, saying every time we got down that it was going to be all right. This is presented to David A. Bayshore in appreciation of your undying support to the Centennial celebration, and it's from the Radnor Township Centennial Committee.
They stole our script.
And you can no longer refer to me as a Victorian lady, even though Chet and I had a real problem about moving forward. We're not spandex type people. Thank you.
Each commissioner and each department head is going to place several items into the time capsule. The department heads are placing items relevant to their particular departments. The commissioners are each placing centennial items, whether they be invitations from the events that we hosted this year, giveaway items, newspaper clippings, those sorts of things. So I'd like to try to do this in an orderly fashion, starting with Mr. Bayshore and that table first, if we could have sort of a processional, and then we'll do the department heads over here, and then the commissioners last.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
I have to keep my hands on the voter registration thing.
Why don't
He's
you-
trying to get me
you
to
know-
change before I throw it in the box.
Why don't we do this? Just,
To the left.
Alexis,
Might 2 or 3 years from now.
did you intend to narrate this? Because if not, then we'll just have each person tell what it is they're putting in the box, just because that's what
I
everybody's
don't
going to
know
ask.
what all of the individual
Okay.
items are, but we can use the handheld microphone right there.
Or you can have this one, okay.
This is a copy of our book, Reflections, which we've had on display for people to share our thoughts on the tragedy of September 11th.
And this is the Radnor Township pictorial history.
Thank you.
Hello. In this bag here, we have the budget, obviously, from the finance department. What else would I put in there?
No money in there, is there?
No money. No
Okay.
money. Doesn't fit.
Show me.
Budget's too big. And that was a tax decrease year, too.
I
Good one.
The original minutes from 1901. Want me to sing?
know that. Mr. Flagg,
Thank you. This is a Community Development Department brochure listing the staff and responsibilities of the department. Next is a township zoning code and a zoning
don't
map
dump it like that.
from 2002. I wonder if I can get back. Open it.
Mr. Stauffer.
Public Works Department brochure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Blumstrom.
I have the 2001 summer program for our Parks and Recreation Department, as well as our Radnor Run brochure, a brochure of the Willows, and a brochure of our Parks and Rec activities throughout the year. Thank you.
Mr. Malloy.
I have an engineering department brochure, as well as the township subdivision and land development code.
There's an earring on your ear. Did that come with it, or is that?
No, that was.
That's
Alexis
his.
added that.
That's his.
I don't know who's got better looking ears, Blumstrom or Malloy.
I don't know, the earring.
I have a whole mess of stuff here. I have a township map, a government directory, a newsletter, a calendar, an annual report. Can you tell I'm the propaganda mistress here? And also a copy of the Suburban's Year in Review.
Superintendent Gregory.
Geez, I feel pretty cheap after that. I have a Radnor Township, little play on words there. I have Radnor Township Police Department organizational brochure and our current embroidered shoulder patch.
Thank you. Thank you. Treasurer Gleason.
I have here the hours that the treasurer's office was open, a listing of our millages, how you can get in touch with us, and it's all in here. Thank you.
And you'll be around for calls, right? Mr. Spengler?
Thank you.
I have a Radnor Township salutes the Radnor students on Martin Luther King Day, a day of service. They did a great job. And, these are a couple giveaways that we gave to the students. A disc, compact disc holder and a ruler. And Radnor Township history by Richard Barringer, Township Secretary and Secretary of the Radnor Historical Society. And a mainline map from the Bryn Mawr Trust Company from 1889 to 1961. I guess that's how long Bryn Mawr Trust was around, but this is a 1961 map, I guess. That's it.
Mrs. Adams.
Thank you. First item I have is the bookmark from the Centennial Lecture presented by David Brooks on November 13th, 2001. Then I have your absentee ballot material for the past year.
Oh, man.
Your register and vote. I know, he tried to get me to change. He was trying to grab it out of my hand. Your voter registration material, to which we encourage everyone to continue to vote, register. And finally, an explanation, no, not finally, an explanation of our seal and what everything means. And last but not least, the flyer from Bobo's in Wayne when David Brooks visited here to promote his book. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hervada.
With the Centennial logo, there was a variety of trinkets that were distributed. They had lapel pins for people. There was a letter opener. This is a flag we gave out at the various functions for a lot of the children, the parades. There was a cup. There was a bag to carry all the trinkets. And this is the actual calendar of events that listed all the various events that were held. And this is an invitation to the kickoff, which was held about a year ago.
Thank you. I can do it from here. Thanks. I have a ward map at the township. And I have an invitation to tonight's party. I have the official township banner for the Centennial activities. And Hank, while you're there, remind me once again, I have the Centennial logo decal. Remind me of the young man, you know him, who designed this. I always forget his name.
Greg Pitchard.
Greg Pitchard, who we thank him again for designing the logo that we used in the Centennial also. Was that a new ward map that we don't know about?
Is this on? It's on? Okay.
It only has 6 wards. That's
All right.
Mr. Mahoney.
The items I have include a ticket for the Victorian House Tour, which was held on December 1st, 2001. Also have an invitation for the Radnor Centennial Gala at the Ardrossan Estate, and that was held on April 21st, 2001. An invitation to the Victorian House Tour. We have also the map for the Victorian House Tour, the supplement from the Mainline Life celebrating our centennial dated March 7th, 2001. That was at the beginning of the celebration. And finally, this one I really hate to give up, it's a story of Wayne dated 1945. So, well, maybe we can look it up in a year or so.
Thank you.
Mrs. Higgins?
I'm going to ask for a little help. We have several aliens in the audience, but maybe Princess Claire and Elise would come help me.
Yes.
I have some of the memorabilia from the Views of Radnor, the artwork that was displayed both here at the Township Building and over at the Wayne Arts Center. We have the invitation and some of the publicity related to it. Put one in. And some of the events with the newspaper articles that were about it. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, ladies. Good job. Mr. Cannon?
I have some centennial trinkets and such. Also have the rules and regulations from the Board of Health, November 29th, 1915, with the original pet ordinance in here, I'm sure. And lastly, a program from last year's Garrett Hill Rosemont 4th of July parade, and to remind people, Spencer Geddes from Garrett Avenue was the Grand Marshal last year. He'll be at the Willows tonight. Make sure you stop by and say hi to him. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a location picked out exactly where this is going to go? Are we
We're going to hold off until this building is completely renovated and put it on this site, but we're not exactly sure where.